I'm higher vibrations, and so are you. Welcome, everybody. Today is the March 3 portal, March 3rd. This is a significant day on the calendar for everyone across the planet and always is. Often we aren't able to recognize it fully until looking back. Um, it's really cool. It's a good day. It's a good day. It's a day of opening gifts and in a very real way. Most of us have found many of our activations really did start at this time of year. And so, and also just a higher vibrations note is this is my anniversary for YouTube. And um, my first video was so cringe that I put it as private. Maybe one day I'll show it. I rambled on and on and on about my near-death experiences. And, I was kind of nervous. It was really cute, but I took it off for now. Anyway, yeah, so it's the anniversary of higher vibrations, and I just want to take a moment to say thank you. um, this has been the most amazing journey, and having done it with so many people in this shared group experience has been an honor and a privilege. And all of you that I've had the opportunity to connect with in ways that I wouldn't have before if I didn't just say okay. I'd been getting messages for over a year, probably almost exactly a year, from guides, from archangels, from random strangers that regarding doing YouTube, and I ignored it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be on this side of the camera. And um, when I started to say okay to spirit, which is I'm glad that I started to do that. But once I started to say okay to spirit, amazing things have happened and are continuing to happen. And it was also 2 years ago, almost exactly, when I went live, and there were 55 people that all told me that I helped them. And I helped them all in 1 hour. I could help 3 to 4 people in a day if I was lucky. And I found that I was able to, just by rambling and just being me, I could help people in mass. And okay, yeah, of course I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to come out here and I'm going to have funky experiences out loud. And I'm not going to omit any of my stuff that's happening. And I'm going to speak openly. And the way that my brain works is going to come out of my mouth. And I said, okay. And we've been doing it. And so for it to be this celebration for this time of higher vibration starting, for the very first video I ever did, um, and finding you all, I'm honored, and I want to say thank you. Um, there's also been a recent import of love and um, kindness toward the higher vibrations um, channel, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you all for this connection, and how you're connecting with the video I posted last night about Ascension Symptoms. It changed the algorithm of YouTube, so now more people can find out that they're not alone. And so thank you for your service and your engagement in that video. I am truly blessed to be counted as a member among you all. So thank you. Now I'm done with all that for a minute. Oh, hey, Vegan Vixens first. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining. Hey, it was 4:04 since we've been going, and there was 44 people here. Man, these fours are not stopping. Janet, hello. Wait, here she goes. Here she's second. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hey, we got a third on the 3-3 portal, Chrissy. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, so much happening. It's so beautiful. So much love to all of you. I'm feeling all these beautiful energies today. I just came back in from sun gazing, and once again, I am vibrating. What a beautiful time to be alive. Aho. Holy cannoli and a roly. There's some stuff going down right now. Yeah, Carmen is always first. He's always first in my heart. He's my brother. I have a special place for Carmen. Vegan Vixen, I still don't feel very joyous. Oh, just still very down and like waiting for something to happen. This one's the really common one. Anyone else? Yeah. So the last part of what you said, I am, I have had a couple of conversations where people are wondering, what about them? Everybody's talking about all this great stuff, and I did want to mention this, so I'm glad it came up. Is that there was a time that, and I'm moving away from this. That as a group, it turns out there's quite a few people who kind of kept in their happy a little bit, not all the way letting it out, because you don't want to be that one that's like, my life rocks, and just kind of making a contrast for someone who's struggling. And we've been doing that for a long time. When you find this joy spot, it comes and goes sometimes too, man. It does. um but we had been concealing, or not really sharing it, and now more people are sharing the joy stuff, so it's easier to see that where you get to be, where you're going to on that, and also the waiting for something to happen. Everyone's feeling this energy right now because we're here in this really, really crazy, awesome energy. There's so much happening right now. It's not only that, which, the 3-3 portal, I would say it's right there with Lionsgate to me. It always has been. It's a big one. And so is the 4-4. It's just this window of time where all this stuff's coming in. It's always an activation window of time for everyone, in one way or another, even if it takes looking back to see it. And we have the 3-4 portal. This one has been one that it's, I don't know who's stronger. They kind of go together. It's March 4th, to march forward, to trudge forward, to continue to walk with purpose onward now. Continue. This is like it's like a video game is what they're showing as examples. We're going to go with it. Like you're in like the Mario race kart games. I remember like the little cars. And then if you like line up with these like lines that are like arrows, and you go in there, all of a sudden you zoom. And that's what the March 4th window is. It's the zoom part, so we accelerate into a lot of our things. And so we already have all that going on. And then also on March 8th, there's a triple conjunction occurring. This one's to do with the moon, really powerful happening, because it's happening 2 days before the new moon. So the moon will nearly be you won't see very much of it in the sky. And it's going to be really cool. The moon, Venus, and Mars. It's going to be in the southeast skies at pre-dawn. So if you're able to be awake and you want to see this, you're very able to be awake around the time that just before the sun comes up. It's really pretty, so we got that stuff going on. And there's a lot of other things just through March, but yeah. So knowing where you are right now is really, we're already feeling all this stuff moving into a little bit later in the month. I'm already getting it. The kind of light that's coming in is now a conversation. It's like before it was a glow coming off of someone. Now we're like, it's some kind of consciousness. Like this kind of stuff is amplified in my experience, I realize, though I meant to say it so because all are having it in some degree or another. And when you can find an echo of your experience, then you can focus on it and amplify it. So that was a lot of rambling. I'm going to get back to your questions now. So happy that you're all here. Thank you for sharing this beautiful energy with me. Carmen, where are you? I was wondering the same thing, but I know I haven't gotten very far down in the comments here, so I should probably skip a little bit. I'll find anyone that's not replying to somebody else. Kylie, hello. Good to see you. Welcome. Happy 3-3 portal. Love from Oregon, says Kylie. Yeah. Oh, how so? Southern Oregon. There's some energy happening over there. That's a really cool place to be right now. That makes sense that you're there. And I don't know if y'all have been noticing, but we're strategically placed into specific. And then we got Northern Oregon representing. Woo woo, man! I love Oregon. Oregon's such a beautiful place. This whole West Coast region, all the way up and down. That's where I spent my life, and inland as well, though all on the west of the Rockies. It's very strange to be where I'm at. I was just saying to myself, I was in meditation this morning and I was sitting out on the grass and I was like, I moved to a foresty tropics because it's like so beautiful out there and sunny. And it's like, I mean, where I lived most of my life, we didn't get to see the sun all that much this time of year. And it really affects us. So if you are in a place like that, bring the soil into the house and put your feet on top of it. You don't need that much. This really helps. It really helps. I could have been called seasonal depression or seasonal defective or whatever they call it. Um, and I started to play with the soil with my hands. And you could do it this way as well. It just takes a little bit longer, like 5 minutes a day with your hands, 10 minutes a day with your feet. Playing with it with your hands also activates the heart and the joy space a little bit too. So be playing, wiggle your feet and it's fun. It's awesome. And being in that joy and that gratitude place, it always amplifies your experience too. And so this exchange that happens with the soil is an ionization process. So you become full of positively charged ions, which is something you don't want, especially during all these solar flares. The air has positively charged ions in it during a big solar flare, the CME part of it. And so, I'll even put little buckets of salt around me, teeny cups or bowls, even, just anything. Living next to the ocean helps. But yeah, so this also occurs through our body, and putting your feet on the soil, the soil will take the positively charged ions off of you. That's why all of a sudden you feel this is that you're feeling all this static noise. It's like ant race energy. It comes off of you. And then all of a sudden you have these empty ones, these negatively charged ions. And this is where we find this balance. And we're like, okay, it's like someone turned off that really annoying noise in the back of the house. You didn't know where it was coming from or even noticed it until it went away. That kind of a feeling. And so this, even if it's only done every couple of days, it's really helpful. So glad you could join us live too, Kylie. Hello, welcome. This is a very big celebration day in my heart for a lot of different logical reasons, though what I'm getting about the celebrations is spiritual experience too. It's the spirit energy because we've just evolved. Kenny, speak your new self into existence, feel it into your body. Yes, and speaking to your water has some really big impacts. So we are bodies of mostly water. And if you follow someone called Dr. Emoto, and if you most of us have heard of him. However, he's learned to show and to prove that when we speak kindly or unkindly, we can predict what the molecules of the water will look like. The ones that look pretty and are beautiful and symmetrical and just these amazing sacred geometric shapes. Wow, say that 10 times fast. um, and then if you speak unkindly, it's like distorted and usually more yellowy or brown or tan kind of looking and shadowy, and just there's no balance and symmetry. And this is what we do when we speak to ourselves. This is what we do when we think unkindly to ourselves. So because at first I couldn't stop those thoughts. I couldn't stop that way of speaking to myself. I didn't know how at that time. I used the word can't regarding self a lot back then. And so what I learned to do in order to get to just to over the beginning edge of it so it could then start to heal is I would then say something kind to myself, even when it made me cringe and embarrassed. Even if no one was listening, I felt embarrassed to say something nice about myself, saying the opposite of what I just said, undoing it in some way. It really works. It's so hokey, right? It's like that Saturday Night Live guy. I'm good enough. I'm all smart enough. But you know what? It's the self-affirmation people of the 70s and stuff. They were onto something. It just went somewhere else with it for a minute. They were onto something. Speaking kindly to your own water as well as the water you're about to consume, the water you're bathing in changes what it is. And you can actually code it with what you want it to do by saying, thank you for doing this thing. Thank you for clearing my energy and helping me find alignment. Thank you for washing away the things that don't serve me. Thank you for hydrating my body and improving my frequency. These things are like, oh, hey, that's what you want to do? Sure, I'll do that. Otherwise, you're tossing a child into a room full of toys and expecting them to put everything away instead of play. you know, they're happy to put things away too. They need to know what you want them to do. And until we can learn to do this with our mind while we're consuming and having the conversation like we do with light now, um, then it's just useful to say it with your words. We're all in training. We're all in training. Yeah, welcome to the new woo woo vegan vixen. A few nights ago, I heard my name being called slowly and loudly. I looked at the time and it was 444. How about then? Weird. That is really cool. Really cool. Um, Conversations like this are happening more and more too. I'm really happy to hear when people talk. There's been so many people who've been coming to me who've wanted gifts, who wanted to be able to understand themselves and reach into their own frequency and to find the guidance within self. And they're doing it. Like they're getting the gifts, they're getting telepathy when they've never had anything like that before. It's happening. It really is. And, so this stuff kind of coming on, let yourself feel it. So sometimes we'll go to like this wavering space where we're like, it's startlement. And it's not something that I could avoid at first. However, once you get past the surprise, the startlement, we don't need to judge that. To just move into sending out love. Send out love to whatever comes in. It's awesome because if when it is of love, it will answer back with love in an amplified way. And you'll start to have a conversation at your own pace. And if it isn't of love, the love actually guides it away. It's kind of like, oh, do not disturb. Oh, we're closed. Like it really, it doesn't have to be like bad guys, good guys. It's just a vibrational frequency energy that is not one you want. And it doesn't work with the love. And so it goes. And while you're doing it too, you're getting stuff from it because we're sending out this love by pulling the love in from every single direction, from God, from Mother Earth, the sacred divine Mother Earth that's coming forward. This is a strong wowzer energy. And I'm saying, yeah, bring those in as well as every other pore of your body, accepting light from the direction it is pointing in and just accepting from all directions. And when we feel that this is all directed to our heart centers, and it fills up very quickly with this white light. And as you do this, you notice that it's spilling out and just let it go. Let it go. You're not sending it anywhere in particular, just sending it or just growing it, and letting it naturally reach where it wants to go. You'll find that the same vein, the same line of light that came from that tree, from that being, from, these energies that are giving, that are sending, that's making available, when it goes back to where it came from, it turns into this cycle of light. It's really cool. And this is the sharing that we talk about, where we say, don't send the light, swell the light, because after it reaches out, it will naturally go where it's meant to. And so also too, when we pull from every direction, we're not pulling from someone. We're pulling from the swelling out of others like we are doing in that moment. And this connection, this network of light that we're building right now is something that is happening in a global way. And so we're seeing more and more the oneness of all of us, the collective consciousness that we already are. And so that was a bit of a, okay, so that was fun. I want to show you guys my shirt. Look at this. This is really cool before I forget. You are enough. This shirt, the beautiful jasmine. Oh, I think this is actually mirrored. Well, it's backwards. So you are enough though. And this is an awesome shirt that the beautiful Jasmine gave me. So I want to say thank you. And she suggested, she's like, this is for everyone here because we're lots more powerful than we realize most days. There is so much happening. We got a lot of, oh yeah, so I'm catching up from the beginning, I suppose. I went on a lot of tangents today. Luckily, I have a little extra time, so we can go a little longer if we feel like it. Happy anniversary. Thank you, Kenny. Happy anniversary, says Patriot Hero. Jade Shane Main says, yay. Thank you. Yeah, there's been a lot of cool stuff going on, man. Great update. Thank you. I'm really glad that you're able to get something useful from those ramblings. I'm actually not this fun. It's fun when you let yourself just open as a channel and just see what comes out. Zen Lights, love you so much, Mila. Thank you for being so brave. You inspire me. Thank you. And all of us are guided to use our throat chakras in some way as well. And so it feels funny at first. Like, why would someone want to listen to what I have to say? Everybody's got to know, this stuff. So there's got to be somebody, more capable than me. I'm just me. Excuse me. I've been really big into the lemon water lately, and I like having the lemon piece in there. I need to see the yellow while I'm drinking it. Sunday, high vibe tribe. Hey, welcome. Good to see you, Source Maid. Excuse me. The lung thing and the throat thing is happening for a lot of people. I'm noticing it's just like a tickle, and I did see in some of the comments. I didn't have time. I've been reading all of the comments from the video that I posted earlier last night. Hey, it's 2:22 p.m. Central Time. However, I wasn't able to respond to all of them, and so the throat, the really really dry throat that people were talking about. I can't remember who now this time. I'm sorry. Is I'm having that too. Like, I'm almost asleep, and all of a sudden, like, I feel like I've just swallowed cotton. It's like, what? I need water right now. And it's very frustrating because it usually happens right before I'm about to fall asleep. Yeah. So this throat thing's like happening a lot. Also, a lot of reports about sensitive gums, teeth, uh, aching, and I've been getting a headache in my gums, which typically usually happens when we're getting a CME or a solar flare. I'll feel it in my gums if it's a very large one. It's like almost like a pulse, like a headache in my gums. So that's a lot of stuff going on there too. Pamela says, good afternoon. Yes, everything has been super intense. Yeah, dude, everything that we have and that we're choosing to have is being amplified. So like the manifestation energy, whoop, that's coming in. That's probably why I'm so drawn to this yellow right now. Sandra says, finding it hard detaching from my husband of 53 years and still be loving. Yes, there's a lot of things that we would call triggers playing out in our lives right now. And I found that it was happening with me, what it was designed to do was it wasn't to, it was giving me two choices each time, because this is a, the, a place where free will reigns supreme. And so consent, choice is very much required. And recently, over the past 2 years specifically, on a global scale, we've been removing our consent one at a time. You could call that moment the moment that you pull the cord from the matrix. Each of us taking our consent, because all of a sudden realizing so many of the things that we blindly believed and perhaps followed and even taught wasn't true. And so we removed our consent in a global way. Now individually we're being made to be presented with this choice. Do you want to choose this one or this new one? This one meaning something that you're already doing, and triggering a storyline from before and from before and from before, sometimes throughout lifetimes. And this is coming up for you to choose. And there's no wrong choice. Everyone does end up at the top of the mountain. It's just some individuals, including myself, in a couple of different moments, I was going to say phases and moments at the same time, in this experience during this 2-year window. I did choose this one. This one I hadn't done yet, and I really did want to do it. Like, there were like parts of us being human and having the human experience that many of us missed here and there throughout this particular life course. And so you want to try that part? You want to play that game for a minute? And yeah, so I've chosen a few times, and in it, knowing that what was happening was really fascinating. And so letting you all know this is also occurring for us in many ways. And so this triggering, this thing is actually a gift. Activation. Todd was saying that a while ago. I don't remember when that triggers are activations, and I very much agree. These triggers bring forward what needs to be healed, seen, and decided about, and so If you choose to continue whatever it is that you're meant to look past, then or that the step closest to this new choice, then you'll do what you're doing for a little bit longer in every one of the experiences. However, to add to the last part of this is we are unable to give out something we don't already have. And so remember, please, you're pulling in the light to you, and you're saving that light for you. You're pulling it in now. We're not taking it and then sending it to somebody. When we're doing this, we're making it possible to have self-love. And when you have self-love, then you have something to give. I remember getting that from Spirit, and it offended me. I was like, you're telling me I don't know what love is? Are you kidding? Like, I really did. It offended me. I mean, I was, yeah. And then this series of activations that occurred in order to put me in a position where I was able to love myself, then the love that I was able to experience and to have for all others was so much different than the thing that I had called love before. And so they were right. They were right. And so we're pulling the love into ourselves. We're pulling it into ourselves to find that self-love. That's why we're not sending it out. We're just letting it spill because we're containing so much of it. And it's our orb of light is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, when there's so much of it that it's reaching back to where the love came from, then there's this cyclical thing. Sometimes it takes a little while. And so this act that we're talking about here too includes this, bringing in love to self. It's got nothing to do with any other character that you're presented with. Everybody is you. We're all the same. We really are. We're basically one soul in just a whole bunch of different experiences simultaneously. But that's really what's happening. And so when we can see that these individuals are actually characters playing out roles to assist us to decide this one or this one now, then we're able to decide whether or not we want to continue to do it. So this self-love is the biggest thing that's coming in right now. Self-love as a result of this, by the way, the activation of the healer. And so all are now being activated in this amplified way of self-healing in a natural state, not even truly being aware at first what you're doing or how it's occurring, but noticing the improvement in your body. This is done also as a result of pulling this light in from all of these different directions simultaneously to your heart center. And so this is a self-healing mechanism as well. For the light is what heals you. This is the God juice. This is the all is God. This energy that comes from every direction. God isn't just up. So that was really cool. I'm really still feeling that big energy of activation. This was like a new frequency. I don't know who that was. I could feel how loving and beautiful they were. So thank you for that. Wow. That was a cool channeling. Brooke, good to see you. Hey, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Patriot Hero. I keep having conversations with Spirit, but it's always one-sided because I can't hear them back. Yeah, so a lot of us feel this way, especially in the beginning. Knowing that you're having this conversation sometimes is like the beginning part, so that kind of needs to be the door. Though then you start to notice that you're answering back in your own voice. And I know this sounds strange. This sounds strange, though, when we start to hear our own voice in our head, we'll also notice that it's speaking in a way that we don't typically do. Like you'll see that with me now. Like I've opened myself as a channel before this meeting started. So there's been many moments where I've just kind of been letting my logic sit over here and had some channeling come through. We do this all naturally. And though when I'm not speaking and it's in my mind, I'm hearing my own voice as you would hear me now. However, I can tell it's not me. It's not me answering. You can tell. whether or not we trust ourselves, you can tell. And this is usually how it begins. Often we'll stop even hearing the words and instead start getting visuals, because this is the most easy way or efficient way to get the point across. At least that's how spirit works for me, is I see a lot of visuals, and each one of the visuals, most of them are usually something that's happened in my life that I know means something. And so it's like the example of this, because that's the story that's being brought forward. And it's senses and smells and feelings, and they move into your energy, and so you feel what they mean. And all of a sudden you know all the things they know, and you don't remember that that's so cool until they move out, and then you're like, oh wait, but I want to know about, because that's their sharing. This is like dream fasting. This is a sharing of space. It's not a here's this, here's that. It's like, here's all this stuff. You want to float in there for a minute. Now you understand. I'll see you later. It's really cool, and we're all doing this. Not sure why. Oh, so that's why we're talking about that patriot hero. And so you'll start to feel it sometimes, and you'll just know what their answer is. And it's definitely not as validating as we want always. The miracle of having the burning bush or whatever, is sometimes what we call for. I don't know how many times I've seen the joke and agreed with the joke of people pulling, cards, doing in a tarot deck and wanting to pull it again and being irritated because it was the same answer, because you didn't really want that one, or you wanted to be more profound. So give me 18 signs, and after the 18th sign, then how about 19? Like, just to be sure, because we have all been through an experience that's resulted in what we call the witch wound. This is a very large encompassing word. It talks about, the witch's wound of not being able to speak your truth, as well as having so many experiences where you've been betrayed, and as a result, or there have been some kind of unfavorable consequence. And so we're having all of this stuff, and also the stigma associated with the things that we've been taught early on in life are symbols of something evil, when a lot of the things that are associated with this group of individuals is something that was very, healing. It's like meditating. It's drinking tea instead of going and taking a shot. It's understanding the moon and the sun and how the stars behave in the heavens changes the experience you're in some way. Those things. And so um, as a result, many of us have been taught or conditioned to feel crazy when we have these types of conversations. And so that's the answer to that question, is that as you're allowing yourself to accept in what's coming in as, something that's real, then we start to actually be able to get the whole answer, and more frequently. And you can also resonate and know immediately that it's something that's correct or real. Zen Light. I lived in Bend, Oregon. Awesome. I loved it there. Back to Utah where I am needed. I spent some time in Utah too. Yeah, in a lot of different places in Utah. There's some amazing places there. Couple of spots there too. Man, there's like a lot of all the way. It's like a Z or all the way down the coast of that whole western coast, inland through Nebraska. Even there's some stuff there too. That's opening and activating right now. Hello, Colleen. Hi, beautiful Pamela Sunday. What a great time to be alive. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's so beautiful right now, the energy coming in. It's a great day to be alive, Sneak 69. Yeah, dude. So much awesome stuff coming in. Hello, says Clarissa. People that's not aware of the Ascension symptoms are having problems too, but blaming it on virus that's unknown. Yeah, yeah. This is typical. In fact, I go back to my earlier experiences in life and realize some of the stuff that I was having and that were called certain things were, actually Ascension symptoms, um, and also some of it to do with understanding what area of the body it is, and what the body's trying to tell us what needs to be healed. And they're letting us, our body lets us know. I was diagnosed with a terminal illness called systemic scleroderma, and they were they thought that I was on the last like weeks, how are you still alive kind of stuff. And my symptoms and my biology fit the bill to be that, and I behaved accordingly. And so, and I did have a few near-death experiences during that time. um, it was a very activating 2007 for me. um, and on. And so, though looking back, I mean, if I had a terminal illness, that was 2007. And they're like, this usually takes 10 years and years. You should be dead yesterday. And, it's 2024. And I feel great. In fact, I do still go and get checkups, and the doctors are always like, wow, yeah, you're really healthy. Most of the time they say you're healthier than you used to be or than you were last time. So, you know, it's we the Ascension Symptoms in their order, or let's say the ones that we're having now, we're moving through and they're going away until they're healed. They will stay until we understand the inner meaning. So there's QHHT, um, and it's Dolores Cannon. This is a practice about past life regression, so understanding past lives. Talking to, though, this is a quantum healing, so you're finding out by talking to your oversoul, or your higher self rather, talking about what it is that is disturbing your body right now. Why? There's a message there, an energy. Pardon me, 1 second. Excuse me. That's that thirst thing. Just all of a sudden, just dry. Understanding that there's something emotionally based that needs to be healed from a past life, from past experience, from this lifetime, that slowly unhealed slowly becomes more and more physical, to point at it, to say this is what area in your energetic and in your emotional bodies that needs addressed, needs to be healed. And we don't identify it that way any longer. I don't think that's been very long, less than 100 years since we've been identifying it this way instead. And so, without identifying the underlying meaning, for this physical ailment, often ends up being surgery and much worse things. And so this is part of the healing, that you are all self-healers, and so, um, I love that just came in, and that needed to come through. I'm definitely going to go back and watch this, because I only listened to some of it. I can't hear everything that's coming in, but this is something that I was part of too. In this, it was back and forth, is because this is something that's happening in a global scale, in a global way. People are more and more starting to not buy into psychology in the way that psychology has been presented to us, and allowing us to heal in an emotional way, in a more natural way. And as this is happening, it's happening rapidly. And we're doing ancestral work, we're doing past life work, we're doing all this stuff, and our bodies are becoming healthier. And this is also happening too. People are becoming younger. It's happening. People are becoming younger. They're de-aging. They're de-aging. So, that's something that's going on as a result of this self-healing, where you look back in references like the Bible in the earlier years, how many individuals had hundreds of years for their lifetime. There's that's everywhere. That's not the only reference. That's not the only text that makes reference to this. And a lot of the stuff that we go through when our bodies start to deteriorate and things are coming up. So we'll heal the emotional body there, and it goes. How many times, how long has it been since we've actually had a cold? Like I haven't had a cold in in a long time. I used to be sick all the time. I always had a cold and bronchitis, and I was always going through something, walking pneumonia and all kinds of stuff. And I don't anymore. It doesn't happen, and a lot of people are doing this. Another tangent. Hello, Elsa, soul being R. Yes. Yes. And in this space, when you're just being, when you're just there, you're in soul. You're in soul. Exactly. Thank you. Happy 4 years. High vibe. Thank you. Yes. Has it been 4 years? Let me think about that. Was it 2021 or 2020? I think it was 2021. It was 2021. So it's 3 years. It's 3 years though. Yeah, thank you. This is a fun little yeah, moment in time because the loops that we're making is something really cool. How's 2024 going to be? That's a really good question. I could talk about this for a really long time. I'm going to touch on some just real quick that in the coming up time is that so March is the gift time. And so a lot of us are coming in and getting these things that are like kind of they don't feel that great at first because it's a new toy, and we don't have molecular memory for where we've been, where we are now physically in our physical form. And so now, as we're in this place, there's a lot of uncertainty, and so that feels funky. And that's really going to be the vibration through the next couple of months for people learning how to not feel funky in that, because we're something new, and we're used to always having like a muscle memory in an energetic way to this stuff that we're doing. We find a center really easily and really quickly because we make reference to the old. And we're now in a place where there's no reference to the old. There's not meant to be. That was like training wheels. And so there'll be that kind of for a minute until we get used to what that feels like to really be like on your first day of school every day for a little while. That is, you're going to find that it's actually very, very clearing and healing. You don't enter a day with a palette full of color. Every day you have a new canvas. Every day, literally, the energy is a new experience. And when we can just accept the new experience every day as it comes in, then that frequency of it feeling funky just goes away. And instead, we look forward to this clearing, to this reset and this renewal in this daily hygiene kind of way. So it's going to be really neat. And it is really neat already. I'm learning that part right now, but where I am there, we're at the base, we're at the bedrock. There's this bedrock of crystals here from the beautiful Ozarks. The North Ozark Mountains are a very significant crystal place. It's a massive crystal. It's not actually a mountain, and that's why all the crystals come up around it. I put a short up a little while ago showing you, and it looks like they were just set there, like they were rained down, or that something occurred to make them all of a sudden pop up. They are popping up all the time. This is what we were guided to be at. We were told to come here. I was shown this for years, since I was 14 years old. And that's when, during that near-death experience, is when this occurred, this understanding of where I'm at now. And so, as a result, being here clears the energy so well that I get to experience it a little earlier. I'm already what they call the pre-waiver, but now I get to experience a little bit earlier. So I've been practicing a little bit. And so I've kind of been given some guidance that maybe I need to start doing some workshops too, because maybe they'll be used to help individuals to figure out how to use this energy and how to connect to it. Okay, but so I can't go too far because we have so many questions I haven't read. Throughout March, the main points on March is the 8th and the 10th. They kind of go together, the amplified. We're already feeling that. Then we have the 14th. This one's always been a really important one. I don't know why, but all of a sudden, because the March 14th is always a really important energy, and so many of us had this weird thing, something about Einstein in our lives, and there's been this behind the scenes kind of conversation just with my friends, not really behind the scenes, but all of a sudden my and it's not me, like I'm being asked in my own voice in my mind, was Einstein real? Well, I don't know. March 13th, 14th is known to be his birthday, and this has always been an important day for me. I've always found some really important energy happening then. And also, this is when we're also having another conjunction. The moon, Jupiter, Uranus, and the Pleiades conjunction is going to be seen to the west post dusk. So just after the sun, is at dusk, that when it starts to come through, you'll be able to see that in the west. And there's also the Norman meteor shower, which isn't a lot. I think it's like 8 or something like that a hour, but it's really pretty, especially since it's going to be so close to the new moon, that you'll still be able to see it pretty well. So that's an energy window too. We've got the spring equinox on the 20th, of course. That's really significant. There's just a lot going on for this particular month. It's every week. And then we're also getting some new energy. We're going to get some really awesome, not scary at all, big giant solar flares that aren't scary at all. It's really cool. And there's a lot of cool activations from that. The sun spirits are coming in more, and they come in right like big ones. And there's a lot of them here right now. So we're going to get some cool ones, I know, throughout the month. It's not scary. It's super awesome. If you feel like following it, you'll find that there's going to be some stuff coming through about that. I'm really behind on the comments. Okay. Jumping over. Thank you so much, Vegan Vixen, for the 1, 2, 3, 4. Love you to the moon and back, Mila. Thank you so much. I love you. Yeah, there's just so okay, mucus, that's the one we should talk about. The mucus mucking us a lot, right? Yeah. This mucus thing that Elsa has talked about here is something that a lot of people are having go on, and so let's knowing this is something, then we're talking about like weird like sinus stuff. I'm noticing the activation of the third eye with the throat chakra and the heart chakra when the cough comes. Like it's not always mucus related. Sometimes it's just your this throat thing. It's a real dry, but it's also this weird mucus. It's affecting animals all over the planet. Whatever season we're in, we're also talking about places where it's summertime, having a lot of animals that just can't make it. Some animals aren't designed or don't know how to cough out this mucus that we're coughing out. When we're doing this, we're activating these 3 chakral spaces, and it's coming from this space that's like in the heart center and where your lungs are, right? That's your heart center. That's your heart chakral center. And so this is activating the heart as well. And so some energies, some bodies aren't able to activate into the frequency we're going into. And I really in a very real way see it as not even a death. It just looks like a death from this side, where the other side, it's actually still doing a life, the regular. It's just that body can't be here. It doesn't work, and for us though, we can cough it out. We can do these things, and saunas and stuff like that really do help. It does help. I rely a lot on mullein. I smoke this mullein. It's not tobacco. It's known as a weed, Mullien, also known as lamb's ear. You can find it already pre-packaged as a tea. I almost did that when I didn't have any, and I found some on this line. It just came up. I'm like, yeah. It does. You can smoke it, or you can drink the tea. I prefer to smoke it because it just gets the mucus out. It just goes. The next morning I'll wake up and I'll cough a lot of mucus out, like a lot. And you're just like, wow, how was all of that in me? And yeah, so it's kind of stressful on the body a little bit. So if you can't almost puke, or feeling like you are, and your body's just not in alignment right now for that, I don't suggest that. However, it's really worth it to do it this way if you can. Otherwise, you can steep it as tea, and it's something that you can just it helps the upper respiratory. It's an ancient herbal remedy to a lot of the stuff we're experiencing. So I went on another tangent, so I should jump again. Oh, look, Elsa's jump. Speaking of jumping, I went from Elsa on Facebook to Elsa on YouTube. Been chatting on Facebook messages. Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out. Thank you. Or maybe you were talking about great show. Thank you so much. I love you, Elsa. Angie's Soul says, I swelled out to our local aquarium on the southern Oregon, California coast to beam love. It's still stormy and rain/snow. Mwah, Mila, shine on to the moon, stars, and now, yes, tickle in throat. Thank you so much. What a great comment. Man, yes, and as we're swelling out, it's so much fun, because as we're swelling out, we're also seeing that we're like helping everybody, but it requires that we are like giving it to them, because like we're happy to share. And if you say I'm going to give that to you, then we visualize it as removal of something that is on ours that we need and teleport it to something else, someone else. And so there's that imbalance that we've been keeping. And all of this propaganda about not being selfish and considering yourself last rather than, and all this stuff that we've been fed through all of this, at least in the Western culture and the way that I was raised, um, I was raised with, like my three sons and Donna Reed and Father Knows Best, because they didn't want me to know what time I was living in, I guess. But this is something that we were taught, is that we were supposed to sacrifice self, and the bigger the sacrifice, the bigger the reward. If it's not a sacrifice, it's not really a gift. Or the bigger the sacrifice, the more the person is going to appreciate your gift. If you have to give, your last meal, it's all BS. And so doing the opposite for so long, we didn't realize what we were doing. So we're filling it in so much that it spills out. And the more that you do that, the more that we practice it, the farther you can reach. And you're finding that you're actually swelling to the size of the planet and beyond, within, without, all this web of light that's connected and one thriving, breathing, loving organism. Kind of like this, kind of like that. Looks a little bit like that in a way. Like I would change some parts of what that looks like, but it was something like that in the all of all things. And all we got to do is swell out by bring it in and being what we used to call selfish. Bring it into you. It's for you to keep. You're keeping it. You're letting it just swell where it wants to go. And remember, it's coming. Look at all the different beams of light. It's coming from every direction, into every pore of you. Yes, from God above and from Mother Earth below, though also every other direction as well, into your heart center, and let it swell out. This is a really important or useful at this moment for this thing to talk about, which is why it's coming up so much. So perhaps some needed to hear it. They wouldn't have heard it if I didn't say it again. Fascinating. Allow space. That's right. Yeah. Um, man, there's so much cool stuff. Allow. Thank you so much, Elsa. Elsa, I want to do a show with you again. Allow, ground being, sung by Ed and Elsa. Too funny. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you should, if you want to come on a show, just let me know. I'm in the connection that we've been having lately too, in this telepathic way. Today, 332 or 2024, 33, 6 by 8. Huge day, had marked for many years, half sees full day. Wow. Thank you. This is a really important day. That's so cool. You knew that too. I love it when other people know the stuff, because then it's so validating for me. Because, yeah, wow, 33, 44. There's so much going on. You can expand what you focus on. That's exactly right, Kenny. What you choose to be in, what you choose to create will be. There's been so much of this slave mind mentality, is that there's like all these rules, like but what about this? But I need that. Everything and all things that you need are coming to you now. All things. There is no financial insecurity. The world is abundant. Your world is abundant. There is no insecurity and safety. You are safe. You are protected. You are in a space of what is a world that understands boundaries, but not in the way that we always seem to assign what boundaries means. This is just like Elsa says, the spin beings, we spin. And sometimes we kind of come together a little bit, but we kind of bounce, and we sometimes will like binary planet style for a bit, and maybe it's like 5 energies or whatever, and then they'll kind of break off and they'll do their thing, and then they'll spin someplace else, and so as we're doing this, wow, what was I talking about? Dang it, I should have not tried to describe it so I could let it come in. Okay, spin beings. You can expand what you focus on. And so, um, man, I'm getting so downloaded right now. I bet we're getting a solar flare. There's some stuff coming in right now. Um, at this time, this is always the beginning of the new, what the next little while looks like for us. You could call this the new year. You could, because this particular day is a day where it's like the new moon, which is why this 8th and 10th energy of the new moon's on the 10th. Um, but the new moon is when you sow what you want to reap. So you plant, you manifest what you want the rest of the month to be like. And this is where you do that in a lot of ways for the year, which is why I'm so funny about this that I've always like, should I not tell anybody that? I'm just going to say it, is that that's why we pretend. We've been made to pretend that the new year is on the wrong time, is because this is the time where you get to decide. This is the day you get to take your power back. And not just this day, but also tomorrow. And also through the course of the next few days, there's not one day that is pinpointed. It's simply that today and tomorrow are the most intense energy of it. This is actually the window of time in the previous calendar keeping, when there were 13 months based on the moon cycles. These 2 days weren't counted. They were their own month, I guess, in a way. This was the time of celebration. This was the time of joy. Being in a place of gratitude and joy is the most powerful and um, uh, um, guaranteed way of manifesting, is to be in a place of joy and power, or joy and gratitude. So that was fun. That's true, though. I've heard about that too. I should jump ahead. I've got so far behind. This is a really cool day. Thank y'all for letting me just go on and ramble and let some of this channel stuff come in. Brooke says, you're talking about things I really need to hear. Getting sick often, but have not been sick since I quit graveyard shifts. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that you haven't been sick since then. Yeah, a lot of stuff that people are experiencing, we've been experiencing it for a lot longer than we realize, and until we can allow ourselves to understand it in some way, we really can't heal it. And what we need to understand only truly is that there's an underlying emotional body associated with each thing. When the body is out of harmony, when it's no longer in alignment, then there's an echo. You could say it's a signal. Like, what pain is meant to do is to show you there's something going on here. It's not meant to torment you. It's meant to say, hey, emergency, something's going on, but that's the last signal. That's the last signal we'll get. The first signal is like a slight discomfort or something, noticing something that's changing and shifting in our body. And then rather than going and seeing it, you can see whoever you like. But for my choice, rather than choosing to accept any random medication suggested by a doctor or someone, let's first find out what the underlying cause is. What organ is it? What area of your body? Look up what emotion is associated with, and fill in the blank of the organ or the area of your body. And you'll look, when you get the results of those things, you'll find a lot of nodding head energy as you read it, that it talks about you. It's telling you what hasn't been addressed in an emotional way. And if you can, I offer sessions. I have a scheduling site where you can, it's in the description of this video, and this is some of the stuff that I help people do. A lot of times we'll find ourselves overwhelmed, not knowing where to first point, because there's so many things going on simultaneously. And so it's okay to connect with other people for help, though if it's something that can be addressed in a quick response, and I'll also be able to assist in that this way as well. Anyway, so looking this stuff up, finding the underlying cause, and allowing yourself to then look at the area that is talking about the emotional distress area. Really 8 power, 8 every hour. Classic. Classic. That's interesting without the L, because I always find that typos or autocorrect or whatever really is another something to absorb and kind of consider. Kylie says, although I agree with them instantly, and I think that this is a part of, here we go. Kylie says, I know that exact feeling, Mila. I called them my guides when thoughts came into my head in my voice, but they are not my thoughts. Although I agree with them instantly, and it always resonates. So you can say that they do become my thoughts. Yeah, and everyone, it's a little bit different for every person, which I think just adds a little bit of a layer to the complication of us realizing we're talking about the same thing sometimes. Especially, I found that to be mostly true early on for me, meaning when I started to talk to other people. Most of us have been doing it for a while, if not for a very long time, privately, secretly even. And so maybe we don't have the words, the vocabulary to understand, what it is we're talking about. And I've developed my own vocabulary, too. So some of the words that I use when I'm trying to describe some of these spiritual things aren't words that a person knows what it means. And also some words that people use readily, I sometimes won't, due to the uh, energetic baggage that I associate with its being used in a taunting or belittling way. And so I do find myself finding areas this way. But what's fun is that when we come up with a new word, all of a sudden, everyone has a new word. Everyone has this new word, and we're creating a collective vocabulary. Most of it's the kiddos we've been finding, talking with Stacy and stuff. It's kind of fun. Terrene territory. March 14th is Pi Day and Einstein's birthday. Yes, this day. And it's 114 people here in the live right now. Yeah, this is a really awesome day. I've known individuals who were born on this day, and I've found them to be really, really high frequency energies, as well as seeing the code of this. Though, there's this part of me that wonders, was Einstein real? Does allowing myself to accept the possibility that he may not have been, I think, is really the only step that really needs to occur for that. You know, yes, I missed a lot of comments. Elsa says, "Love you, Mila. I love you. Thank you for joining today, Elsa. I've missed you." It's a sinus condition, says Clarissa. Clarissa has a yeah. So there are. There are outside reasons and causes like this one too. Okay, mine deals with dust, air, and smoke. Yeah, so this is something that it's coming in however it's coming in. It's having it. And I find it really fascinating because I get to be in this uncommon. Hey, it's 303 on 33. Oh, it just changed to 4, but I saw it. Is that however it's meant to come in, it comes in for that person. Wherever we are, it's that outside cause is the same. It doesn't matter, but the result is the same rather. What's cool about this though is that I get to talk to people all over the planet, all over, different climates, different ways, different lifestyles, different diets, different walks of life, different age groups. We talk about people's pets and animals and fur babies, and we talk all kinds of stuff all over the planet. How and why would something occur simultaneously, as if someone did this to the planet and everyone had this thing occur? Like, it's fascinating. And when you can see that link, when you see that, that is something worth paying attention to. And when I asked about it, the guidance that I got, had to do with the activation of these chakral spaces, having specifically to do with the heart center as a way of moving the light and the energy up, which has then lent to the understanding that came in yesterday. No, the day before yesterday. My daughter and I were doing a mommy-daughter meditation out in the yard here. What a crazy, beautiful experience that became, because I then was guiding my daughter in meditation as I do people in sessions. And I was taught as I was teaching her a new method that I hadn't considered. And I thought, how did I not even think about that? And that is that bringing the light in from every direction, which also came as a channel through me at least 2 times today. That this is a new spiritual technology that I hadn't even thought about. Like, I always was concerned that I'd be trying to pull energy from somebody, like taking it from somebody. And that's not how this happens. When we send our energy, and we're not send, but when we bring the energy into us and it slowly swells out, then that becomes giving energy. So when someone else or something else of that same frequency is also swelling out, when those two paths cross, they can link and accept. It's not that you're taking from anyone who doesn't have it to give. You're you're accepting rather than taking. And so doing this in the direction of every pore on your body, light beams all around you, coming in, and going through whatever pore it is and going straight to the heart center. And you watch the heart center just glow white, bright, and just continue to swell and swell as you're pulling it in. And it goes out and out and out, and it swells out. This came in during this mommy daughter meditation as a teaching to my daughter and to a teaching to me. I'm so, I love those moments because it's like, I felt like to myself, like, how did I not do that before? And when I feel that way, usually I don't tell people because I think to myself, oh, everyone already knows that. I'm like the last one to figure it out. And so just in case y'all haven't figured that out too, because I just found out, there's that. And so I'm not embarrassed, and it's okay that I didn't figure that out. It's so useful to know that. This is a strong guidance because it came in so often. Love the channeling, Mila. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's actually a lot of fun to get to do. I've spent so much of my life like bite the lip kind of thing, but it's really fun to just let it. Oh, sorry. Let's do the first part really quick first here. Sarah says, been having dreams the past few months almost every night where I'm with my friends and family and an ocean of people, always getting ready for a huge festival or concert and always so excited. Awesome. But then, right when we are about to go in, I wake up. Yeah, we're definitely here, and that's what this is. A lot of people are getting this kind of symbol. Um, I'm feeling everybody coming this way, like to where I'm at, and there will be a lot of people. Um, those who, by the way, there's people who are coming here as a party for a party on April 8th. Those of you who want to come to Boonville, Arkansas, in the line of totality for the eclipse on April 8th. We have the 4th through the 8th. And then we also have like a longer window of time. There's a link to the tickets there in the description of this video if you want to join us. We're here on this beautiful place, and it's so healing just being here any time of year. So far, I came. We got here on the 13th, I think, the 13th of December, and my goodness, the frequency of this place is beautiful so far every single day. And so if you can come, and it's really cool, and to be here for this group effort of this group party, really the celebration, the soul vibration, it's going to be really awesome. The group meditations we'll be doing and activations is just going to be so amazing. And then during the totality, a bunch of us are going to be in meditation, and it's just going to be a real powerful experience. All people are going to get activated at that time, whether or not you're here, though there is a much more profound experience in the mind, body, and energetic soul space when you're in totality. It is, and so if you can be in totality, if it works out for you, then, I definitely encourage anyone to reach out to it. Something that Sarah said has activated something that reminded me about something. I mean, is I'm having a lot of childhood dreams coming back, and they're not as coming back as dreams. It's I'm remembering them, I'm recalling them as if I'm recalling the dream from last night. It's very, very clear and new feeling. Um, and there's more code to it, but I still don't understand it all the way. There's one in particular that's been coming throughout my life, and I had this dream somewhere between the ages of 4 and 6. I'm not sure. I think I was probably 6. That was my Cupid doll phase, I think. So I think I was 6. Um, and yeah, there's definitely um, these activations coming in. So the dream state and the dream experience has really been shifting, and there's some real serious creation, awesome energy things happening um, about bringing this forward and coming back. So um, when we're in sleep, when we're in dream state, we think that we're supposed to be resting, and though most of us are actually doing something else, we're actively busy, we're in counsel, we're in a situation where there's a sharing of code. um, we're having very real astral experiences where we're engaged, and we're going there now instead as our higher self. Most often when we were going into astral, we would enter this place as a higher energy or a higher version of yourself, which we call a higher self. Um, and now we've all raised our frequency enough that when we go into astral, we're going as our own identity. We're going as you are now. And when we do that, we're doing it in order to be able to bring back more precise recall, because it's assisting us. And it doesn't even mean we need to remember all of the code, all of the things said. It's simply recalling it at all, because it reminds you of this possibility, of this reality existing in this higher plane, and also giving you guidance for the moments that you're in, because all of us who are doing this have some sort of mission, some sort of intention. The reason that we are who we are in the moment that we're in, and where we are, and also where we're going, is very clear in its intention. So it's just really cool that all this stuff is coming forward so big right now. And so allowing yourself to just get as much rest as you can. Like rest. Like I'm finding I need a drooling, staring at a wall window of time every day. I need that time. So, I do. I take that time. And it's at first I felt shame and guilt associated with it. And I'm not being productive, though I am. And when I'm doing this drooling, staring at the wall, I typically do it on the porch. Usually my videos are right after. That's why I usually see the house, because I'm in the shade, and also connected in this way, so I can be, but um if I don't do this, if I don't allow myself this time, then it just comes over me when I need to be active or when I'm engaged in something. And so, as you can see today, I had a couple of brain fart moments because stuff's coming in when I wasn't anticipating it. I didn't take as much time as I needed, suppose, to do that. So, I give myself that daily. I give myself that blank stare moment, period, daily. Because if I don't do it, it's just going to come in and it's cooler when you're doing it on purpose. Arkansas has so many crystals. Oh yeah, dude, they're just pop. Like this one's really cool. I got to show you guys this because before we go, it's just pretty. I still haven't cleaned it up, so it's still got the dirt. But look, it reminds me of like something like Isengard, or and so it has obsidian in it. This is milky quartz, but inside you can see. You can't really see the sparkle. There's also clear quartz in there, and then there's a copper base. So what this is also what this is. You guys know these, the organite. Another example is like one of the pucks. These are really good to have. They really are, especially around electronics, Wi-Fi, and stuff like that. We usually get these on Etsy for like you could get them really easy. Organite pucks. Um, I got a set of 4 of these, and I put them in the corners of the house when I was in the apartment. And it changed everything about the energy of the place. I also used like a wand to connect it. So you like you're a fairy, ding, and then go to the other one, ding, and then you make your square or whatever space shape you're making. And then also crossing, so you can have other stones in this area, and then you ding and bring it through to cross where you spend your most time. I know where most of you are, it's very cold, so you're probably in the house a lot. Where are you spending your time at? Have a lot of crossing of the crystals. They don't have to be big crystals. You don't even need to be like clear crystals, just this different kind of, they really help. It brings up the frequency. What's cool about these though is they just pop up out of the ground right here. Here's another one. Check this out. This is a heart. Look at that. And you can see all it. And there's like, it even looks like there's like some rose quartz on there or something. But you see inside that cluster. Like, I don't know if you can see how pretty that is. And these are just coming off the ground, out of the ground. There's also some clear quartz, though it's typically been found by somebody else. So all along the roads here, there are people that have a big table out there with a bunch of big crystals on it. And they're like for sale, like a perpetual garage sale of crystals. It's really cool. There's also a diamond mine, the only diamond mine there is in this country, though that's not free. It's not very expensive. You pay for a bucket, and then you go out there and you like get your own crystals or diamonds and put them in your bucket. They also have crystal mines like that, where people have gone and gotten like the awesome stuff and just got with a tractor, and you can do the same thing. It's really a cool, fun place. Everything is just, there's so many crystals around here that people, they're just kind of like, it looks like litter. Like while you're driving down the road, all these white, because most of it's the white ones. This you'll see this kind more often than the other kind. Like here's another. Oh, don't make that fall down. That would make. Here's another one. Here you go. Like this one too. So you can see the obsidian in there. I still haven't cleaned any of them. I just kind of like them the way they are. But anyway, it looks like litter while you're driving down the road. There's all these white spots all over. Like someone's like, tossed out their styrofoam cup or something like that. And then when you get over there, you're just like crystal, 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 crystal. And they're just everywhere, and it's like, that's the land. And the organite is naturally forming here. Like when I realized there was copper in there, this is organite. And it's just coming out of the ground. It's doing its natural thing. It's got the obsidian in it. That's what these are. There's always some kind of iron or copper, or steel or something. So this has copper, this example does. And this is just pretty. So they did their own special thing. But typically there's also obsidian in here, and quartz. And then, so here's another example. This isn't quite as pretty. Then they just get the polyurethane is like the glue that makes it the shape and to stay the way they want, because it's all powder. The metal, copper or steel or whatever, brings in unbalanced energy and it draws it in. That's why usually when you're out in public, when you touch something metal like a railing and it's a really populated place, maybe people are upset when they were touching it at different times, that it doesn't feel that great when you touch the railing on the stairs or something. All of the energy goes into metal. Though when this goes into the metal, then it's cleared by the clear quartz and sent out by the obsidian. And so it's an energy cycling thing. And they're so cheap. The 4-pack was around, I think all in, it ended up being about $7 because of the shipping. $7 for 4 of these. And I could put them in the corners of my house, and anyway, they're naturally occurring here too. It's pretty cool. There's so much going on, man. Look, I love all the comments. Thank you all for joining. Love it. The crazy crystal lady. Yeah, I know. I've become a crazy crystal. I still don't know what most of them are called. Like, I really don't. I understand the color and how it's helping based on the chakra area and what that chakra does and means. And that's really all I know, and my daughter will tell me. And, she doesn't research it. She just knows. She just tells me this is what it's for. So Kavana, I got married on the 3-3 portal date. We are still going strong 24 years later. Awesome, Kavana. That's really cool. Well, happy anniversary. This is a beautiful, beautiful window of time. And um, as we're in Wisconsin. Yeah, so I think this is where, oh, I think, yeah, where's your sister? I think I actually saw her earlier, but then I clicked the thing and jumped. So hello to Trina. I know that you're out there. I love you. Um, as so Elsa says, Mila, litter, lay tar, sing organ. Oh, right on. This tar thing again. Oh, and oh my goodness, the removal of the avatar stuff. And oh my, hey, it's 3, 2, 1. Blast off. I probably should get going. I love you, Trina. There she is. Hello. Um, as you connect with all of these things, oh hey, yeah. Thanks, Kenny. Here you go. This is what's called the organite. That's called organite. This is organite. This is organite. Also, that stone I showed you that's back in the window. So, I just kind of wanted to let you all know, that the energy that we're in right now, some of it feels kind of like unstable, and it feels because we don't have familiarity. We don't have um, um, molecular memory is what they're calling it. So let's going to go with that. Our bodies don't recall having been in this frequency before, and so it feels unsteady. It feels uncertain, and we also have what's coming in of this anticipatory energy because we know that we're about to be given something awesome. We're like that kid that the parent said, "But close your eyes and put out your hands," and you're just like, and waiting. It's like, okay, what is going to be? But it's also really exciting. Whoa. And so that's happening right now too. So we're feeling all of that, all of it together, and this is a beautiful time, a time of opening our gifts, opening the presents and saying thank you. And so also to assist this experience as it's happening, please keep in mind as we stay more and more in a grateful heart, the more that this will be accessible to you. It being grateful for what you're wanting to get is another way of saying it, then makes it so you get it. If it's in alignment with your soul plan, and what I mean by that, if it causes you the highest joy and highest good, and so some of the times we find that we have like this shopping list to Santa that some of the things we don't get, and it's because it wouldn't have served us as well as we think. You know, the answer to a problem of feeling financially insecure would seem the answer to that would be to become a billionaire. And I know for me that what I needed to learn instead was to take away my programming, the codes that were presented to me throughout my life of thinking that I didn't deserve to have financial security, thinking I didn't deserve something. And that sometimes you hear the birds singing, those are the baby chicks. Yeah, they're being really loud right now. I'm the dogs and the cats are outside, so I don't know why, but you can hear them. That's cool. Yeah, we got 12 chickens now, 12 baby chicks, you know. Yeah, surrender to need rather than what we want exactly. And as soon as we accept that all things we need are given to us at all times, all of the sudden it becomes so. And then we realize we had been manifesting the contrary of what we actually could be using in our lives right now. And it's teaching us how manifestation works. And so that's part of what's coming through for that. That's so cool. Y'all can hear the birds. Yeah, there's 12. One of them's named Stacy, and the one that's named Stacy, I just figured out it's a rooster. So, but Maddie named her Stacy. She named all of the birds, and she still knows all their names. It's really cool. And they're little, they look, they're not white or yellow, I guess, is what they'd be now if they were that kind of chicken. They're these really beautiful, black and white with tannish brown colors. They're really cute. Anyway, I love you all. I do need to get going. Um, we're in the time of accepting and celebrating and understanding that all things that you need are coming to you. And so using this window, this energy space to call in what it is that you want, really is what it comes down to. Like, what do you want the world to look like, to be like, in a real way? People talk about doing the New Year's resolution, and that was kind of like hijacked, where instead we're manifesting what we want the world, our world, our reality to be. I'm using the word want a lot. That's not the right word, though. This is what we're using. Um, especially to Elsa's point right here. It's still up, actually. Yeah. um, though, it's what is it that we choose to create? What are we choosing to create? It isn't instead wondering what the worst case scenario is going to be like or how to avoid it. It's instead saying, this is what I want. This is what I choose, instead of what I don't want or what I don't choose. You see how it feels different? And when we say, this is what's happening, this is what's coming, you feel the frequency of that. I'm able to afford all things is another way. Those using those words and saying that's not possible often creates a financial burden, difficulty, struggle, having to do with financial insecurity. So yeah, right. A new spin, a New Year's resolution, too funny. That's exactly what we're doing. So taking this time. Hey, 327. That's my birthday. Every time I see my own birthday in numbers, that means be true to yourself, and loving self. And that's just always what I've gotten. Every time these activations occur, they're just reminding me that you're doing a good job. So if you get those, that's pretty fun. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I love you all so much. Use this manifestation time thinking about what it is that you really choose. I know that the world that I'm in, the experience that I have in my reality, I'll talk to some other individuals who don't see this that I'm experiencing at all. And it's fascinating because the more we choose that that's our world, the more that it becomes. It sounds weird, but it's really, really, really real. I love you. Happy 3-3 portal. Thank you all of you, for being a part of this channel. And thank you for these past 3 years. It's been a beautiful, loving, amazing experience for me. I am so glad I listened to my guides and agreed to do this, and to get to connect with so many of you. I love you all. Aho blessings.